Rajas, Tamas, Sattva. Let us start means there is Rajas. Let us stop means we have to bring Tamas. Okay. So last time we closed at Shloka 9. Okay. Shloka 9 said Sattvam Sukhe Sanjayate Rajah Karmani Bharata Jnanam Avritya Tu Tamaha Pramade Sanjayatyuta. Sattvam binds with Sukha, Raja binds with fruitive actions, Tamas clouds the wisdom and binds with Pramada. So this is where we close. See, first this is a step-by-step process. First we have to understand these three gunas, how they bind us. Okay, how does Sattva bind us? With knowledge, okay, with Sukha, with happiness, and we feel we like to be happy. Let's remain in this position only all our life. So this is Sukha binding us. Next is Rajaha. Rajas binds us with actions, which are giving us fruits. And Tamas clouds our wisdom. So there is no Sattva at this point. So it clouds the wisdom and binds us with laziness and negligence, carelessness. All this is because of Tamas. So at all points of time, all of us have all three, but one is predominant. So like at times you will feel, oh, today really the Tamas has taken over. And today the Rajas has taken over. I'm feeling very restless. And sometimes you feel very balanced. That time Sattva has taken over. And this is happening for all of us all through the day. If you observe, thing is how it binds us is with Sukha, with actions, and with negligence. It binds us, okay? Now Shloka 10 says, sometimes Sattva prevails over Rajas and Tamas both. That's what we spoke now. And sometimes Rajas prevails and takes over Sat and Tam. That's coming next. Then sometimes Tamas prevails and Sat and Raj are right behind. So it's not like maybe in a sage or a saint, it may be 96, 92% Sattva, maybe, 6% Rajas and 2% Tamas. But has to be there. It's not there that, okay, this person is completely Sattva. Then what? Then they won't do any action, right? And inaction is not a possibility if you're in the samsara. So when there is a physical body, when there is a mind, when there is an intellect, then Triguna is there. So then we are constantly associated with the body-mind complex. So then Triguna is there. So we can't say only one guna always, one guna. There is only I am one guna person, not possible. All the gunas are always there. But we can bring the sattva into predominance eventually. But we have to do purusharth. We have to take self-effort. Okay? It's possible because all three are available to us. Nobody can say that, no, for me sattva is not at all available. No, it's available. Everything is easily available. So now Shloka 11, 12, 13 are all in one sync, okay? The previous one, we understood Rajas, Tamas, Chabi, Bhuya, Sattvam, Bhavati, Bharata. Means Sattvam is, predominant, so the remaining two are right behind. Rajaha, Sattvam, Tamascha eva, Tamaha, Sattvam, Rajastaha. So similarly, whenever Rajas is predominant, the remaining two are right there, and Tamas is predominant, the remaining two are there. So this is like a cycle, constantly. So this is an understanding post which 11, 12, 13 will understand. Sarva dvareshu dehismin prakasha upajayate Jnanam, what is it? Yada. Jnanam yada tada vidyat vivriddham sattvamityuta. So what does this mean? This means sarvadvareshu dehesmin. The body has doors, gates, you can say. For entry, what are gates meant for entry and exit? So for entry and for exit, we have certain doors. So in this shloka, they are mentioning, regularly we'll mention 9 gates, okay? But here we'll focus on 7. These 7 gates are right on our face. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so these are the 7 entry and exit points. How are these? Prakasha upajayate. Okay, it's, you could say blooming with light, illumined with light, full light. So these, what is light? We'll feel, oh, light means maybe they're fixing some lights. We cannot fix lights. It is illumination of viveka, discrimination power, which comes from knowledge. So when you understand illumination, it's knowledge. But knowledge means the power of discrimination. So then we will do a simple trick. For the 7 gates, we will keep watchmen. Okay, the name of the watchman is Vivek. Okay, so the Vivek fellow has to be sitting in all the entry points, entry exit points. If that fellow is sleeping, then that means Vivek has disappeared. So when Vivek has disappeared, then all the wrong entry exit will start. That is when the other gunas and everything will enter. So that's why when sattva is there, the Vivek is awake and on guard. Okay, what is entering? See, the main points are, technically, if you think Shravana, ears, which we never realize. Eyes, though at least we can close when I don't like to see something. But ears are always open, not nowadays. Nowadays, though, headphones, earphones, earplugs, everything is there. So in a way, I would say it's good that you don't have to hear everything compulsorily. But if you don't have the watchman, then what you personally hear will also be of no use. The things we choose to hear will be useless. So then the watchman has to be there, especially for the ears and eyes, and of course the mouth also. What goes in and what comes out. What goes in technically is food, water, etc. But what comes out is words, which is interesting to note. So understand that these are the nostrils by themselves, unless you're doing pranayam, are quite harmless. Okay, they are there as a supportive 2 gates. Okay, but the remaining 5 gates are dangerous. The ears, 2 eyes, and the mouth. So these, be aware. What's going in, what's coming out, both. So eyes, when you open your eyes, what you see is going in. What comes out is what's inside you. The anger, the irritation, the joy, everything is visible in your eyes. So that's coming out. Like in Karma Yoga, we have that story of the Vyada Gita where the sannyasin just stares at those birds and the birds are, burned to ashes. So what does that mean? It means that what came out. So what was inside? Anger. So anger came out through the eyes. So there is an incoming and outgoing happening. Through the ears, technically, there is no outgoing. No outgoing facility, only incoming facility. So it's like a data pack. Understand that incoming is free and outgoing is banned. There is nothing for it to go out. So everything is incoming. What is incoming? There, Vivek should be sitting If Vivek is not sitting, discrimination is not available, then anything will go in, anything. And then what it will do? Oh, it only just, I just heard it, yeah, nothing, no problem. But went and, made some small seeds in the chitta. And we didn't realize also. We didn't realize only. So be very, very aware. Okay? In this, he says, Sarvadvareshu Dehesmin Prakasho Upajayate Jnanam Yada Tada Vidyad Vivriddham Sattvam Ityuta. Jnanam. So he is speaking about knowledge here very clearly. So Upajayate, technically he says knowledge, Jnanam, is all pervading. In all these gates, it's like all the gates are illumined. That's what it means. Yada tada vidya vivriddham. Vivriddham is like it's growing and it's, sparkling. It's all around. So then the Vivek fellow has to be very active. Technically, okay? So that the sattva is predominant. So when Vivek is sitting in these doors, it is sattva. Simple way to understand. And when Vivek is sleeping or absent, it is rajas and tamas. Okay? Strangely, active is sattva. Vivek is active is sattva. And Vivek absent is tamas. And sleeping also, rajas tamas. Okay? Now, Shloka 12, we'll take this. First, we'll finish this much. Shloka 12 says, Lobaha pravrittir arambha karmanam ashama spraha. These are words, okay? Rajasye tani jayante vivriddhe bharatarshapha. So, Rajasye tani jayante means Rajas is born. Jayante, Janma. Rajas is born and is, moving everywhere. Vivriddhe, growing also. When there is lobha, okay, then there is pravrittir arambha. Basically, the tendency, okay, tendency to start new enterprises. I want to do that also. I want to do this also. Business, that, this, etc. That is pravrittir arambha karmanam. Next is ashama. Ashama is when there is no control. Shama. Shama is control of mind. Ashama. And then spruha. Spruha is desire, thirst. When these are visible, understand that these were born out of rajas, which we would all have at certain times. Then we'll expound this. The third shloka 13 says, Aprakasho apravritischa pramado moha evacha. So, tamasitani jayante vivriddhe kurunandana. Understand that what is born of tamas? Aprakasho. Earlier he said, Sarvadvareshu desmin prakasha upajayate. Here he is saying aprakasho. So there is no light, darkness. So you could call it darkness, you could call it tamas as we call it, you could call it ignorance, nescience, whatever you want. Next is not pravrittir, it is saying apravrittish. It's like inaction. Okay, no motivation to do anything. Pramado. Pramado is negligence, carelessness. I know, but I'm not doing it. Then delusion, moha. So these are born out of tamas. Now we'll understand one by one what is born and how do we manage this. Okay. First, we need to understand that all three will be there and one will be predominant at any point of time. So right now you can check what is predominant in. Doesn't look like tamas for anybody. So then you have to, unless you're sleeping. So if you're awake and you're listening, and that means it is Rajas or is it Sattva? We will understand all the gates. Vivek is sitting, there is knowledge or there is ignorance still. If you yourself will know how you're feeling, we'll understand the Rajas qualities also. When Rajas dominates, greed, exertion for worldly gains, restlessness, craving, desires, etc. develop. Okay? And when tamas rises, ignorance, inaction, carelessness, and delusion. So these, one by one, when you understand sattva is that which has a vivek at the gates, and the personality is very tejasvi. What we felt is maybe sattva is there, and in all the gates, vivek is sitting right now. But if vivek is sitting at the gates, it will be bright. So all of you have a screen in front of you. How bright are you seemingly looking now? With your own eyes, check. Is there brightness? Is there dullness? It is all visible through the eyes. It's all visible through the eyes. So if there is lack of brightness, means Vivek is missing. It's probably slept off. So you need to check. The brightness will be visible on your face, at the gates, basically. On the face, because all the gates are there only. So if you look at it, is it illumined right now? Is there enough brightness right now in your vision, in your listening? Is it bright or is it dull or is it semi? You should check. How is your hearing ability right now? How present are you in the moment? How is your vision? What is your eyes saying today? Is it saying there is pain, there is fear, there is dullness, there is whatever, boredom or not able to understand, etc., or just thoughtful and preoccupied? All this will be visible in the eyes. So that's why these are the gates. When people say, you're a face reader, it is very easy. You just need to know the Vivek and whether he's sitting at the gate or not. And then basically they say the life and the decisions and the understanding is full of clarity. Now imagine if there is full light. How will everything enter and exit? Clear, no? There is no delusion, there is no doubt. As soon as there is a doubt, means the illumination is less. Maybe it is semi-dark, not fully lit. So that means you can't comprehend what you're hearing or seeing, etc. So these are small ways to understand. Understand that when the Vivek is sitting at the gates, none of the senses are overly used, unduly used, unused. Unused is also waste, okay? It is properly used. It is like, how do you use your ears? If you're constantly listening, hearing, it is overly used to the point that when something nice also comes across, you miss it. Why? Overuse. Same with the eyes, same with the ears, same with the mouth also. If there is no Vivek, something will blurt out. There will be no sequence in the sentence that is being said. We are not speaking of grammar. We are speaking of sequence of thoughts. Now, right now, if we say, okay, unmute and just tell about one of the characteristics, how your sentence will form, will decide whether there is a gatekeeper or no. Because the understanding may be blurted out, or maybe broken and said, not, maybe I want to say this and that and this and that, and there is like a, a lot of confusion in the mind which is being spoken. So when the line of thought is clear, then the whatever is spoken is also clear. For that, constant gatekeeper is needed. Gatekeeper is light. It is like if there is light and there is a channel where, not a channel, maybe a cave through which you have to walk, you need light. If there is very good light, you can walk smoothly. If there is dim light, you might trip here and there. That's what I'm saying about the speech also. When you want to express something, how is the speech? Is it dim? Is it no light? Or is it fully bright? So these are small things that you yourself can note for your own self throughout the day. Like when you're speaking to maybe your spouse, your parent, or somebody, see how the gates open and how the words come out. Is Viveka sitting, or you're just going on? Or maybe you are not at all speaking. Silent treatment today. Or maybe you are, not able to make the other person understand what you want to say. All this means lack of light. So all this means sattva is less. It's there, but it is less. So maybe Vivek is had too much paisam and feeling sleepy. He's kind of dozing a little bit, then awake, then dozing, then awake, maybe. So just see what that fellow is doing there. Okay. The control we technically have is to take control of that watchman. We make sure that there is brightness. Now, how will the eyes be bright, the ears be ready to hear anything, there is illumination in the gates? How do we bring this about? For that, we have to check what is the block. See, a treatment can be given when you know the disease. When you remove the disease, technically there is nothing to do. There is ease, always. You just need to remove that, whatever is covering the ears, okay? It's like I am speaking, and then suddenly somebody in the house, maybe my son will say, you said something, Amma? I said, 5 minutes I was speaking. You had that in your ear, I didn't see only. It's not visible only nowadays. So then 5 minutes I was speaking normally, and I didn't know that it was already in the ear. And suddenly maybe he saw that there is lip movement going on. Maybe she is speaking. Then open, did you say something? Of course, 5 minutes I was speaking. Where were you? I was gone with my earplugs. So then these are simple things. Basically, you need to understand that what is covering, what is blocking. So when he removed, he could hear. When he kept it, he can't hear. Nowadays, so there is all sound block and what? Sound cancellation. Noise cancellation here. Superb. Dunya kya tel lene? Let the whole world go to hell. I am in my world. So we create our own inner worlds. It's good to a large extent, but make sure that what's going in also is going through the watchman. That's all. Okay. Now, this was about the openings. Now, this was the most important thing, because you should know that you have an option, to set right the watchman. That, okay, Vivek, you have to be there and you have to be lit. You can't sleep off in between, etc. These are instructions that you can give to your own self. Now, what are the blocks? Blocks are coming from Rajas and Tamas, mainly from Tamas. Rajas Vivruddhi means exponentially risen. Okay, grown. What is the first indication? Lobha. Lobha is greed. So then it is like dil mange more. It is always ready. It's like, why one? I want two. Okay? Then I want three. Then I want four. It doesn't stop. Whether it is business, whether it is money, whether it is food, we don't know where. Okay? Some people may have like good control over the food, but no control over earning the money. So it's not that money is bad. Everybody should be rich. Everybody should have enough and more money. That is a different. You should have wealth, not necessarily money. What is the difference? We thought when I store the money in the locker, it becomes wealth. Wealth is wealth of knowledge, wealth of understanding, Aishwaryam. We call it Aishwaryam. Aishwaryam is not only that I have a lot of, what do you say in Hindi? Rokda, cash. That makes me wealthy? No. That makes you financially rich. 100%. Doesn't make you wealthy. Wealthy is inside. Wealthy is inside. I might have only 10 rupees in my pocket. But when I'm walking on the street, people will think, oh, she has too much. Where did that Aishwaryam come from? From knowledge, from understanding, from goodness, from light. Doesn't matter what is there in the wallet or nothing is there. It really doesn't matter eventually. We need money to survive, to stay well, to be comfortable. It's important. Nobody should stop earning money. Everybody should earn money. That's good. But not with lobha. Not that, wait, today I'll go 1 hour late, I will earn more money. I will work till 9 o'clock, I will earn more money. I will work throughout the night, I'll earn more money. This is rajas, excessive rajas. So that's what vivruddhi means. It is like exponentially there. So there is no place where you say that, okay, this much should be enough. Tomorrow also I'll do this much. Should be enough. Rest of the time I need to do other things also. So there is no greed. But rajas was utilized well. Now leave aside the funds. Okay, that's okay. Now let's look into the other aspects of our life. Where rajas is growing. We never step out of the kitchen. Till every single spoon is wiped and kept in that rack. A full night will go also, I will be there only. Then full night you will not sleep also. That is also rajas. Hovering around, the children, helicopter parents, rajas. Did my child eat? Did my child do this? Up to the age of 9, 10, 11, we can understand the child is careless and may not eat. 18, 19, above 15, they will cook for you also. Why do you need to worry so much? When we are constantly, taking care is different. You have to take care. Have to spend time with them. Quality time with them. All this is compulsory. This is not going out anywhere. But there was a term called helicopter parents. I came across this some 10, 12 years ago. More in America. Helicopter parents are parents who are constantly hovering over their children. Constantly breathing through down their neck. And if you will never know. You ask the children, they will tell. That my parents don't allow me to breathe also. If given a chance, they will breathe for me. That is the level of hovering, constantly to the point that the child gets irritated. That please leave me alone. Understand what you're doing. Understand that you are a helicopter parent at that moment. Where is this coming from? Rajas. Excessive rajas. And we should not become parents who are just sitting and let the child do anything. That is excessive tamas. None of this. Bring a fine balance where you are there and you're not there. Imagine there is a cow and there is a rope tied to it and you're constantly holding it also. and going behind the cow and checking what it is eating, how much grass it ate. It did not eat well. Did it chew enough? Whereas I have the rope and I have let the long rope, let the cow do what you want. Eat. I know the boundary, right? So I know where the child can go maximum. But the rope is in my hand. This is sattva. Where the other person will say, oh, I know the boundary, leave the rope also. That is negligence. That is tamas. So hold the rope, don't run after them. You know how long the rope is. If you feel they've grown further, tie another rope to it, leave them even further ahead. But still keep the rope in hand. The end should be in your hand. And they can keep roaming everywhere. So that is a fine balance. So in every aspect you check, whether it is self-growth, are you overly doing something? Whether it is dieting, overly doing something. Exercise, overly doing something. Or underly doing something. Not doing only. Jane do. Nothing will happen. That is also there. Another is, I have to do, have to do, have to do. Don't get out of the treadmill only. Keep standing on the treadmill throughout the day. That also doesn't make sense. So for everything, keep on bring a nice balance. There should be no greed attached to the result. The greed is attached. That is why we are holding the rope so closely and checking what's happening. My child, nothing should go wrong. Everything should be right. There is a greed also in this. Okay, that it should all be right. Trust. Trust and hold the rope. Trust. But it should not mean that you sleep off. Be aware. No negligence, no carelessness. This is a very fine-tuned individual we are speaking of, okay, where we can all reach. Wherever we are. So check where in your life there is greed. It could be for physical fitness, dieting. So we eat less and come down below our BMR, basic metabolic rate. If the basic metabolic rate is 1200 calories and you say, no, I don't care, and I negligent, okay, I will do exercises which will burn 500 calories. And I eat 1000 calories. So minus it and see how much was left for the body. It will crash and you will not lose weight. You will lose water, minerals, bone mineral, mass, air, and all vitamins. You will not lose fat. This I can stamp and give it to you. If you completely cut down on food, you will not lose fat. You will lose muscle. And then it's a down journey straight away. Because you will feel you're thin, but you can't stand on your own 2 feet after that. Because no energy. Then all B12, B6, B vitamins and vitamin D and all that in, why? Because I'm dieting. So I pop all the vitamins inside. This is negligence again. So eat your proteins, eat your food, eat your meals properly. Just avoid the packet foods as far as possible. And outside food. Somewhere, it's out of topic, but somewhere I heard that one dal, just we make in the house, one bowl, and one bowl of dal from the local restaurant. 3 times more calories. Same amount of dal. Only dal, I'm not speaking of paneer also. The oils, they are just, it's free. Oil is free for hotels because it's all borrowed oil from here and there, okay? All refried, all the, big 5-star hotels, they will never refry. Only once they will fry, the oil goes to all these small restaurants. They buy it at, giveaway prices. And then they throw it into the dal like it's nobody's business. And we have that, I had very nice healthy food, only one dal, but 3 times more calories. Rather, the dal that was lying in the fridge, this is what I heard on a talk. So exactly I'm sharing this. 3 days old dal lying in the fridge, heat it, warm it, no nutrition. I'll order fresh. Gaya. First, that is not fresh. Second, it is having 3 times more calories. This dal, no nutrition chalega. At least calories was, at least you know how much you ate. Exactly what you put in the dal, that only you ate. So be very, very careful of outside food. Everything sandwich made at home, sandwich taken outside. 3 to 4 times more calories. No, but it's healthy still. It is not healthy when it is coming from outside. So understand these things and then do whatever you're doing in your life. No negligence. Understand the funda before you do anything. Go deeper into the knowledge and then try anything. Otherwise, we face consequences. We all have faced consequences. And it's natural. So be careful, okay? Starting new projects after Lobha. Why we were speaking of all this? We are doing all this for what? Lobha. Right? We want this. We want this. The greed is there. So why having a fit body or a healthy body is greedy? No, it is not Lobha actually. It is the correct thing. But the way I approach it becomes Rajasic. That is why it's called Lobha, where there is no control. Okay? So the next is constantly, prompted to do something or the other for the gains. It could be worldly gains, it could be name and fame, doesn't matter. Some people say, Chalega, I don't need money, I should get good name. So for name and fame, they will go out of the way and take up new things. That's what it means when they say Arambaha Karmani. Means new actions. Doesn't matter. This also will do. This also we will do. We'll take this up. There's a lot of rajas. So it's not bad. Again, you should take up new stuff. You should take up new things. But just be careful that there is no greed attached to it. See, we have to break these down properly. Because as soon as you hear all these qualities, you feel, no, I don't like to be Rajasic. Don't bring this thought. Rajas is very important. See, especially after COVID, most of us are into tamas with Rajas in the mind. And Sattva is limited. Okay? Not getting up from one place is tamas in the body. Okay? But the mind, if you open it, it will go here and there, everywhere. There's too much activity going on in the mind. So this brings disease in the body also later on. So instead, utilize that rajas of the mind for the physical action. Finish it. Finish that energy through the body. But tamas in the body and rajas in the mind is a horrible combination. Any day, when I look at a person who is constantly doing some action, I feel they're still better than the one who is simply sitting and rajasing in the mind. A dangerous person. Because they will bring something upon them. The preferable thing is all that rajas is put out in action. They are not sitting only, they are continuously chalta hai. Jane do, let them work. It's still better than only thinking. Okay? Sattva to we have not even approached till now. This is all rajas only. What was the next quality? Arambha, restlessness, ashama. Shama, dama, titiksha, we know all these things. So shama is control of mind. No control of mind. Rajas. Now imagine there is another deadly person, okay? No control, rajas through the body, through the mind. All rajas, full rajas. This is another, restless combination. Thinking, doing. Both are going in full-fledged way. It's more dangerous. It's more dangerous. See, if you look at, when all of us were small, young boys and girls and children, let them jump, let them make noise, let them roll on the floor, let them break a few things. It really doesn't matter. Let all the rajas come out when they are young. Otherwise, it will all stay in the mind. And when as they age, they say naughty at 40. That's why they say. Why? When they were 15, they did not do anything. So all that went here. Here gone means gone. Now they're in a very bad state of mind. Okay. Next is, chalo, at least they're working and somehow something is going out. Imagine after retirement what they will do. With all that energy in the mind, all kinds of desires, and can't fulfill, physically not capable. But mind full of anger, full of desires, full of unfulfilled desires. Very restless, ashama, no control of mind. No control in anger, no control in speech. All the senses, Viveka is dead. They killed him. Viveka died and all the senses are outpouring. Maybe a young man of 20 will not stare at women so much as a 60-year-old man will do. Why? Khatam nahi hua. The fuel is still there inside. Rajas is still there, not being able to utilize through the body anymore as such. There is a limitation, but the mind continuously in rajas. So when the youngsters are boisterous and jumping, and let them do it, nikalne do, let it go out. Let them dance, sing, party, play, put all the children in all possible sports. Don't allow the children to sit. This is my suggestion. Don't allow them to sit. They should be playing. Put them in all classes. Singing class, dance class, whatever class, karate class, football class, basketball, cricket, whatever is available, let them expend their energy, come home and sleep. Because in school, anyway, they're made to sit and study. So don't worry. Where we are going wrong is 8 hours in school, they're sitting. Okay. Then come in the bus, they're sitting. In the car, they're sitting. Everywhere they're sitting. Come home, they're sitting. Okay. So then, so much rajas is there in children naturally. It's a natural product of Prakriti. And we are making them sit. They say, Amma, please, let me play. No, finish your homework. So we make them sit. Tomorrow exam, sit. So sitting, full time they're sitting only. Finish. What will happen to their energies? Where will it go? Then you will say, my child is watching something nonsense nowadays. Why? Because the energy is coming out there. You are allowing to sit. No, so sitting and watching, what to do? If you allow them to play, they will not get into all this. If they are not ready to play, kick them out. Throw them out. Tell you, make friends and you play. Otherwise, you only play with them. Or you do some asanas in the house, make them do Surya Namaskars. Let that thing come out in action. It's most important. Most important. Okay? And make them run. Running is good. If they don't like to play, make them run. Go to the park, you walk, and you tell them, take 5 rounds and come till I finish this 1 round. Make them run. Another option. They should be tired. This is the best thing to do. Next is Shama was the thing we were doing, right? Restlessness. Then spruha. Spruha is desires. Cravings. There is too many cravings. Honestly, now just because we are on the topic, just imagine. Maybe a 15 or a 20-year-old or a 25-year-old will not have as much craving for a pastry as much as the mother and father will have at 55, 60. Why? Because they feel they are nearing the kick the bucket time. So they are nearing the death, and the youngsters feel, tomorrow I'll eat, no problem. Keep it in the fridge. They also have craving, but it's comparatively limited compared to, because they feel I have a long expanse, I can eat anytime. More craving increases for food for all desires, whether to earn money. Some of them will say, I didn't do anything in my life, I have to do spirituality now. That is also kind of a craving only now. Why? Because there is something to do. At 60, what who will do? If you didn't do anything all your life, 60 mein kuch nahi hoga. So then at 60, there is craving left. Craving for all the senses, all the desires for all the senses. There will be craving, more holding on to money, more craving for this and that, whatever you can think of, you put the list. There is less control. So ashama, less control and more restlessness and more craving. This is rajas. Okay, pure rajas. Next is tamas. Tamas is interesting. Why? Because it says no knowledge only, directly. It says aprakasho, apravritish, non-enterprising, pramada, and moha. So there is, as you age, technically how it should be, we should do enough in our grahastha. That is between 25 to 45, 50. 20 to 50, 20 to 45, you should have done so much action that when you're 50, 55, 60, 65, you matured into sattva. Ours is ulta. Ours is, by the way, matured to tamas. Not moving from wherever we are. That shouldn't be the case. That shouldn't be the case. And it shouldn't be overly rajasic also. There should be a fine balance. The fine balance can be attained with experience. As you grow, you mature. You blossom. And when people look at you, they should feel the sattva and not rajas and tamas. This control we all have. Only thing is we need to direct properly. Right now, if you feel like darkness, aprakasho, there is no, I don't have any energy, I'm feeling very tired, I feel lazy. Okay, first get your blood test and check your thyroid. If thyroid is normal, then we will talk. So next thing is, when you feel all this, check all your parameters, all your vitamins. If everything is normal, then the next thing is understand that there is too much tamas. Jadata, we say. Jadata. When you start feeling that your body is heavy, I'm not speaking of body weight. No, doesn't matter what your body weight is. If you start feeling that your body is feeling heavy, means there is gravity. There is tamas. You're being pulled down. So that means jad. Then a jada sharira will be a jada mana also. Tamasic body will result in also tamasic mind. Total ignorance, quick irritation, anger, frustration, dissatisfaction, no movement in the head also. So this is all tamas. Okay? That's why nest signs, ignorance, total ignorance. It's like all gates are not being utilized only. Closed, shut off for the day, for the lifetime. Next is non-enterprising, inaction, no action. See, the more financially well off we become, there is a danger, okay? Get me a glass of water. That sofa, if you lift the cover and see, it's gone. You've been sitting so much on it. The color will change of the sofa where you're sitting. The other side color will be different. Why? Nobody is sitting there. So wherever you're sitting, even on a bed sheet, if you check, wherever you put the maximum weight, there'll be discoloration. That means a lot of tamas. Why? Get me a glass of water. Keep my glass of water. Get me this. Get me that. Not moving at all from the place, from your seat. Tamas. Utho. Krishna is also saying, Uttishta, Arjun, get up and fight. He is sitting there in that corner. He's saying, get up. See, my deal is at whatever age you are, okay, till your last breath, you should be able to take your own glass of water and drink. You should be able to take your bath. You should be able to, at least walk in the house. You should be able to at least do, some basic cooking. Not for the entire family and the world. Only for yourself. Basic, you need to be able to do. By yourself. And that is possible. If at the age of 25, 35, 45, you're moving around. Okay? If you're doing everything, the body gets used to it, it will continue doing it. See, we are not speaking of sudden illnesses, sicknesses, accidents, etc. That's different. I am speaking of a normal, all of us life, typical life. You should be able to do most of the things. So for that, first only start getting active and stop depending. My right hand, my left hand, use both your hands yourself. No need for extra hands. You do maximum work in the house. It is not less to do your own housework. And the people in America do their own housework. The people in India can't do their own housework. They're physically incapable now. 5, 4, 3, 7 servants may be in the house. Why? So easily available. I like those people because then there is no servant, they have to do it. See, because activity is important. I'm not saying, okay, dismiss the maid and start doing yourself. The point is you need to do some activity throughout the day. I'm not speaking of exercise. Exercise is different. Yoga class is different. Gym is different. Walking is only activity. It is not exercise. In case anybody thought that walking is an exercise, no. It is just activity. Basic activity. Running, okay, that is exercise. Where heart rate goes up, exercise. Everything else is activity. Chalega, do the activity at least. That is being said to directly to tamasic people, that first get up and start moving. Okay? So then pramada will, it will set in. Let it be. Today nobody is going to give me food. No cook has come, no maid has come, no my daughter-in-law, nobody to cook for me. Let it be. I will sit down. Okay, I will not even get up and get the glass of water. Heights of tamas. Nowadays, I know it doesn't work. You just pick your cell phone and call Zomato. But still you have to walk to the door and open the door and take the package. That much so you have to do. So then some rajas is needed. Okay. Then after pramada is negligence, taking medicines not on time. That is negligence. Wherein you are, oh, I forgot, carelessness. So then we'll say, oh, they're aged, no, they're forgetting. No, it's not like they got Alzheimer's or something. It is carelessness. So that is coming from tamas. All of us also, why we are targeting the aged people? When we don't do our activity, when we don't do our exercise, when we don't get up on time and sleep on time and eat on time. What is all this? Negligence. And where is negligence coming from? Tamas. So then as soon as you are careless, understand that, okay, tamas was sitting today, knocking on the door. So this mistake, this carelessness is arising through me. Why? Because of tamas. Then I'm feeling that I want more and more. I'm not feeling satisfied. It's arising from rajas. Oh, I'm feeling very calm and peaceful and balanced. Where is this arising from? Sattva. So all of us by ourselves have to check which one is where. See, the trick is in all this, understand one thing. To get Vishrama. What is Vishrama? Rest. Okay? You need to do enough Shrama. Shrama is action, effort. Okay? So if you have done enough Shrama through the day, Vishrama is natural. So then enough Rajas through the day will result in beautiful tamasic sleep. I fell asleep like a log. Very good. That means enough was done through the day. But you will notice that people are physically doing a lot but still not able to sleep. Mind. Mind is running over time. Physically tired, wanting to die in the bed. But the body is not falling asleep. Mind is running over time. See, the body will not fall asleep until the mind is withdrawn. If the mind is running over time, body will not fall asleep. Has to relax. How to relax? It's most difficult when there is too much rajas in the mind, too much thought, too much tension, too much stress, you can't sleep. Have to bring it to balance. Then I told you, I will start chanting mantra, then we'll start doing so many things, listening to something. Somehow, God, please allow me to sleep, let me fall asleep. Instead, what is bothering you, sit down with it and sort it out. Sort it out. Now, suppose it's your child, or maybe it's your spouse, or maybe it's your some maybe bank details, or some financial headache, something is bothering you, sit with it and sort it out. Like, what is the worst that can happen? Okay. And what can I do? This much. Can I do that much? No, only this much. Okay, I'll do this much. Sort it out in the head and then fall asleep. Otherwise, you will not be able to sleep. It will, keep coming again and again and again till that thing is solved, Sometimes it could be just a song. Somebody was humming a tune and which was that song? Which was that song? I can't sleep. Which was that song? Which was, Arey Baba, chodo, it's not even worth it. Similarly, there is something that I'm trying to remember and recollect. Can't sleep. Can't sleep. So then, if it's really important, ask everybody. Otherwise, just forget about it. It's not worth it. Then tomorrow morning I'll sleep. Chodo, close the book and sleep. We tell our children, see, it's already time up, close all the books and go to sleep. And in the mind, mind also close all the books and go to sleep. That's it. So that is why they say retire for the day. So we don't, mind doesn't retire. Mind says, no, wait, let me think of that, let me think of this. Then you play games, that is also rajas. Then you watch Insta reels, that is also rajas. Hare nahi, but while playing the Insta reels, I fall asleep. I just play all those reels one by one. I'm clicking, and I fall asleep. But that's not the best way to fall asleep. Best way to fall asleep is put yourself to sleep. How do you put the child to sleep? We do that, tuck, tuck, tuck. We try to, make them I'm not saying do that to yourself. What you need to do is you start doing yoga nidra for yourself. Like my toes are relaxing, my right toe is relaxed, my foot is relaxed, my leg is relaxed. Then I reach my head, but I still can't sleep. Go back. Start again. Start again. Do it n number of times. Then you will sleep. And this is the only way. But the main thing is find out what was that rajas in the mind which is not allowing you to sleep. Tamas will put you to sleep anywhere. It just likes the sleep, It's sort of pure ignorance. So now these three, okay, can be brought in balance. So just because now we understood the characteristics, let's not get into the deal that, oh, these are the characteristics. I don't like Rajas, I don't like Tamas, I want to be in Sattva 24/7. Doesn't work. Predominance of Sattva, utilize the Rajas. I'll tell you how. Suppose you feel that, oh, I want a lot of name and fame. So there is that, Rajasic quality coming from within. Catch it. You want name and fame? Okay, do social work. Go and do social work. Your name will be there. Everybody will recognize you. Everybody will say, oh, she's so nice. Okay, good. So that greed was fulfilled by doing something better than more greed. Okay. Some people will say, oh, I have this name and fame. I will start a business. I'll start an enterprise. I'll do. See, all ashrams, how are they running? Rajas. Without Rajas, even our spiritual ashrams and temples, not possible. You need the Rajas, but it is Sattva predominant Rajas. Because the intention is not none of the Rajasic qualities. There is no greed. There is no, all this enterprising thoughts of building it, this, that, nothing like that. Then, what was the third quality for Rajas? Ashama, right? Yeah. Ashama and Spruha. There is control of mind. There is no craving and desire. It will arise, but instantly turn it around into something where it will be cut off. So the ashram is a good idea. All the rajas can be removed there. Okay, so that's why I keep saying, when we go to the ashram, we are made to do work because we have come with lot of jadata, tamas, gravity. So we are pushed here and there, pushed here, seva, 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 do, till that rajas sparks. It's like a fire. Then they get overly rajasic. I want to do that also, this also, that also. Then the Guru will say, okay, sit down. Now time for knowledge. If you get that knowledge when you are in tamas, it's a waste. It's a waste. Why? Because there was earphones of tamas. Okay, the knowledge was coming, but the tamas was there. So then you have to get into the rajas at the right age. Do the activities, do the actions, take the efforts without greed, without, losing control of your mind, senses. When the craving arises, calm it down with sattva. Push it. Tomorrow, not today. Don't give in. Don't give in to the craving. Tell the mind tomorrow. Push it for one day. See, this is self-control. Not suppression, self-control. Then rajas can be utilized, tamas can be utilized with sattva predominant. Otherwise, if rajas is predominant, imagine what will happen. If tamas is predominant, imagine what will happen. So which shloka was the 10th shloka, na? 10th shloka, where it said that one will prevail over the remaining two. See, all three will be there. But which is predominant depends on our actions. We can turn it and make sattva predominant and utilize the rajas to the max. And then fall asleep also. So bring the balance. I think we are time up. So this is 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. Next time we will understand. Okay. When rajas is predominant and if the person dies, where does he take birth? So then we'll say, oh, that's so when we die, it will go, let it be. So right now, where you have taken birth will let you know which state of mind you died in your previous birth. Now, suppose you are born in such a such family, it means that it was rajas predominant when you passed away. It was tamas predominant when you passed away. It was sattva predominant when you passed away. So this is what Krishna is going to inform 14 and 15 shloka next time. Okay, so go through it. It is fun, and don't be very confused or very strict about it. Also, just observe. Just observe your own self. Then start observing the immediate people around you. And if you see there is tamas, then slowly pick up your child or whoever it is and say, come, let's go for a run. Bring out that energy. And let it not be exponentially high. And when it goes too high, balance it. It's like a kirtan. You start with so slowly, Ganesha mantra, and it's like, oh, it's so peaceful. And then the kirtan goes like, everybody's clapping and everybody's going crazy. And then again, in the end, it is going slow, Shanti mantra. So it begins slow, it ends slow. In between, it has to rise. So we feel all the energies, properly. So imagine, there were times when Akshita would take the kirtan so high and then suddenly stop. Then I used to say, Akshita, what should we do? Jump from the top floor? Arey Baba, come down. Bring that full energy down also for everybody because they will not know what to do with it then. They are going all clapping and suddenly she is stopping. What are we supposed to do? The hands are still going like this and there is no way to stop. So then I said, okay, you raise it, you start slow, you raise it and then come down slowly. Allow the people to settle their energy slowly, slowly. So this is the way we go in everything in life. Morning, little slowly you will start. Mid-afternoon, you're fully active, doing a lot of work, full day. Evening, start dimming the lights and come down. Slow, 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 sleep off. That's how earlier people village used to live, na? Daylight, start working. The sun is setting, chalo, eat the dinner and go to sleep. Why? There was no light. Now we have so many lights. It's 24 hours, Diwali. No need to sleep at all. And then start dimming the lights in the house and make the atmosphere and the ambience ready for the body and mind to sleep. These are small tricks, especially with kids, okay? Start dimming the lights. Start switching off the lights. They will fall asleep. They will fall asleep. The problem is don't give the mobile to them. It has more light. It will be falling on their eyes. Don't give the mobile. Okay? So, let's close. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti